Hi, all you cool imps and witches. This is Cami with another Tarot Tuesday. So, I have been having some trouble this week trying to come up with something for Tarot Tuesday. And I deliberated over what I should do. What should I talk about? What are they going to be interested in? And then I realized I'm doing a Tarot Tuesday talk. I should just ask the tarot what it wants to talk about. And I did. And what I pulled for this week is the Seven of Wands. So before we get started with this particular card, I think it's important to go over some of the aspects of the Wands suit. And what we can expect from these videos going forward when it comes to talking about meanings. So this is a video more about the meaning, the traditional meaning of the Seven of Wands. But I do want to impress upon you that though it's really important to know the traditional meanings of the cards, because now you're entering into a tradition. This is a deep, long-lasting, powerful tradition that a lot of people are a part of. It's important to always maintain adaptability and creativity during a reading. So use the traditional meanings as background for the reading, but always interpret the cards in that spread together. So are there a bunch of wands in the spread? Is that an important energy, an important lens to see the situation through? Are there a bunch of cups and one lonesome wand? How do we read that one wand in a sea of cups? Are the cups telling that Wands card to dampen down its fire? Or are there too many cups and that fire needs to rage? How are we going to read that? And so it becomes essential for you to interpret spreads intuitively and really just let yourself feel what the cards need to say. If you only read the traditional meaning in the card every time and you don't allow that card to flow with the others, then your readings are going to be very, what's the word? Very jittery. Like this meaning, this meaning, this meaning, this meaning, instead of this meaning blended with all of this other stuff. We need to be able to blend the cards, and that takes intuition, adaptability, and creativity during the reading. So really just take what I'm going to say as something you can use if it comes up. Okay, so then the wand suit itself is the suit of fire, traditionally in most decks. And that fire is energy and starting projects. Where are you putting your energy? Where are you putting your intention? What is the intention is one of the questions that the wands asks us. Another way of looking at the wands is connectivity. So you can look at the wands and where they are in the spread and kind of ask yourself, how does this card connect the cards around it? So say I have a Five of Cups, a Wands card, and the Star. How do the Five and the Star connect as seen through the lens of that Wand card in the middle of them? That's one of the ways. The wands can also indicate the spirit of the situation. What is the overall energy, the overall spirit in the situation that the querent has come to you asking about? Okay. Now we're going over the Seven of Wands. So how do we see sevens? Sevens are similar to fives in that they are challenge cards, but these are challenges in which the querent is asked to find a deeper vein of strength to meet external influences that are challenging. Fives cards are often challenges from within, where the seven is often challenges from without. Not always, but more often than not. And we can look at the number 7 in a few different ways. So if you break up the number, it could be a 1 and a 6, which would be victory through unity of self. How am I meeting this situation as a unified being in order to attain victory? It could be a 2 and a 5. How is this challenge dividing me within myself? And what choices is it presenting? It could be a 3 and a 4. How am I growing out of the status quo? How am I inviting in change into this situation? And how is the challenge going to change the situation, change me, and how can I gear that toward my highest good? Okay. All sevens on the Tree of Life are related to Netzach. Netzach is the sphere of the sevens. And remember that Netzach relates to victory. And so the sevens are really about attaining victory in these challenging situations. Netzach is the sphere of Mars in the system that I use. And it's a Martian energy that really vivifies the sevens. So the Seven of Wands individually is related to Netzach and to Mars, but its astrological aspect, as all of the minor arcana have, is Mars in Leo. And so if you already know something about astrology, then Mars in Leo is going to be like, ding ding, okay, yas. Seriously, yas. Because that energy is all about meeting things head on. It's super fiery, super confident, super powerful. And so this card in the upright is asking us to meet these challenges, these external influences, head on, without fear. Or at least, my computer died in the middle of a sentence. But we're going to meet that challenge head on and just edit it in a fun way later. So I believe the last thing I was talking about was meeting things head on without fear. And then I was going to go into how fear isn't something to fear necessarily. Fear is a really powerful tool. We can utilize fear and see Where we have resistance, where am I uncomfortable, is that a boundary that I can test? Is that a necessary boundary? Is it one that's been put in place for me by society, by my parents, by whoever? Or is it one that I really need? Is it one that I need to firm up? Fear can allow us to explore those aspects of ourselves, and it makes apparent where things need to be respected. This thing is really serious, this thing is really powerful, I need to respect it. I can't just rush in willy-nilly. So how do I utilize the energy that's coming from my fear to meet this situation head on? What is most important for me to see, to face within myself and the situation? And how do I turn it toward my highest good and the highest good of all concerned? That's where I was going. Computer's dying. Anyway. So that's with the upright Seven of Wands. Now, and we reverse the card. And now we have the reversed Seven of Wands. So now we are no longer Mars in Leo. We're Mars in Aquarius. And Mars in Aquarius is all about change and fighting for change. So where the upright card is fighting for the status quo and basically fighting to maintain what I've already got, this is fighting for the changes that are required so that everyone has what they need. How do I want to utilize this energy to fight for change as it needs to occur in the world? How can I utilize this energy to support the people in my community and make changes for the community? How do I use this energy to fight for the earth? This is still a card about fighting and fighting hard. But now you're not fighting to maintain the status quo and maintain the position that you already have. Now you're fighting for change. How do you get to where you want to be? How do you fight for what is rightfully yours? Woo! And maybe take down the guy on the top of the mountain, because maybe he doesn't deserve to be there. Because he's taken too much from too many people. Donald Trump! Anyway. So that's one of the ways that we can see the reverse seven. The more traditional meanings are that you're being timid in the situation, you're not taking, you're not being forthright enough in the situation, you're not being straightforward enough, and that can be true, but another lens that you can see it through, we're talking a lot about lenses today, is how do I fight for change, rather than how do I fight for status quo. All right, this has been another Tarot Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and actually listening to what I have to say. As you can see, I wore, oh no, that's wrong on this one, my fuck off earring, specifically for the Seven of Wands. It felt appropriate. Please like this video, share it to all your friends, subscribe to the channel, that would be very much appreciated. I do have a Patreon page that I will include the link to in the description of this video. If you can, I could use and also would vastly appreciate the support. There is exclusive information on the Patreon. So you do get some cool secret stuff if you become a patron. We will continue doing these free YouTube videos as well though. So you know, whatever's good for you, whatever's clever, Trevor, and, you know, other names. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. May we meet in the twilight. Have an awesome day. Okay. So really quick, last minute, I thought it would be kind of cool to do a very quick 3-card spread, just kind of using the Seven of Wands and give you a little example. So I pulled 2 other cards along with it. We have the High Priestess, the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups reversed is telling us that this person is having trouble manifesting their dreams, partially because people are telling them that their dreams aren't worth manifesting. And so they've changed direction. And now they're fighting for the wrong things. They're not fighting for their dream, they're fighting for the dream of somebody else. And so how do they return to their dream? By following their intuition and listening to their inner voice rather than the outer voices that may be telling them that their dreams aren't valid. How do we reclaim our power when we come up against that kind of adversary? The status quo, what other people tell us is worth our time and valid, and how we should be utilizing our talents. How do we come up against those boundaries and explore them? How do we make sure that we listen with an open heart, but also act through our own heart? Those are the questions that I would ask looking at these cards. OMG! And thank you so much to Kelsey Norris and Starship Occultus for being my patrons. It is very deeply appreciated. Thank you so much, you guys, for helping a witch out.